let's go fishing. Just where we'll point that boat, nobody knows. Well, we don't know if it's gonna be feast or famine. So sit your ass back and enjoy the Big John Show. Let it go! Watch that stump over.
Alright guys, we just paddled about 3/4 of a mile back into this spot. I don't want to get too loud, but we came on in here and right where I wanted to pull the boat up, there's a rub literally just off of the water. I mean the water's right here. We pulled the kayak up right there, and so we're going to slip back off up in here. We're just going to look at sign as we go, kind of scout our way in, but we're going to bring you guys along, and hopefully we can get it done this afternoon. It'll be a bit of a paddle back out if we got to throw a deer in this, but it'll be well worth it. So we're going to go back in here. It's already a good sign that we pulled up right here, and there's a, it's not super fresh, but there's definitely a rub there. So we're going to get our stuff together and get ready to get back off in these woods somewhere. But we'll get back with y'all when we get set up, or we'll show y'all some fresh sign if we come across it. But wish us luck. Pretty fresh rub right there. Alright guys, we took a little breather, sat down for a second. Haven't really found the sign that I wanted to in here. I'm thinking that we're gonna just go ahead and use today as a little bit of a scouting mission. So we're gonna finish scouting this little section out, see if we can't find something where they're moving through here, and if not, we might hop up somewhere else and scout something else real quick. That way we can be effective, because I don't think just sitting somewhere in here is going to be too effective unless we find some better sign than those few rubs that weren't very fresh. But we're going to walk around and scout. We'll show y'all any of the sign that we see, anything like that. We're just going to see what we can find. Just sat down, took a breather, decided to talk to y'all, kind of come up with a game plan. I was almost debating about just finding somewhere and setting up and seeing what happened, but I think we'll have more luck just trying to scout and figure something out. I know that's putting my scent in here, but maybe I can use this for next year or something if I find something worth coming back in here for. But we're going to walk around for a minute, see what we can't find, see if we can't find any fresh sign, follow some trails, just kind of see where stuff leads. And just kind of see if we can't get an idea of what's going on in here, if they're using in here, or if it's just they're in here for a little bit, but not very much. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to look around, see what we can find, bring y'all along with us. Hope y'all enjoy. Sorry it's not a hunt, I guess it's just some more scouting. Be like a mid-season scouting video, but it felt pretty promising when we came in and I pulled up and there was a rub right there. But I guess that was a little bit of false hope. There's a rub right there. It doesn't look that fresh though, but there's one there. We're going to kind of keep walking and just see what else we can find. Alright guys, there's a rub on that tree. There's another rub on this tree. It doesn't look super fresh, but it's sign. And actually, there's one on that one. I'm starting to find some decent sign. It's looking like they might be moving up through here a little bit more than they are down through there. I came up the hill just a little ways just to kind of see, but we'll keep walking and show y'all what we find. Alright guys, so we made it back to the kayak. There wasn't much for sign in there, a few rubs and that, but there wasn't really a whole lot of anything indicating that there was a buck staying in there too much. But we're going to hit the kayak, hop in the kayak. We're going to go scout some other stuff while we got a little bit of time, and then we'll probably go ahead and get out of here. But hopefully we can find something that's worth either coming back and hunting at some point, or just depends on how bad we walk around and do. Depends on how long we don't go back in there. If we walk right in and find some good sign in this other spot and get out, we might go back and hunt it if we get the chance. But this doesn't look like it's worth it unless we can get further back, which we might see if it's possible, but I don't know if we're going to be able to access further back. I think we're going to go check that while we're at it too, but we'll just kind of see. Hopefully you guys stick around and enjoy. Alright guys, so today we're going to go back out in the kayak, kind of continue the scouting. The plan kind of today is to go into a spot, kind of scout our way in, kind of like yesterday. But if it's not looking too good, we're going to hop back out. We might either scout some other stuff, or we might go hit something that we already know that's in this area that might be pretty good. But other than that, we're pretty much just going to go in and scout some more today, and then kind of maybe find us a place to sit and hunt for the rest of the day. If not, we'll continue to scout that area, see if we can find something better, or we'll hop out and go to a place we know, or scout some more. It just kind of depends on time and how long everything takes. But we're going to go ahead and slide the kayak in so we can go ahead and get out there and get to looking at stuff, and maybe we can come across some good stuff and get set up on it. So let's try to get her done today. It's officially November. I think it's November 2nd now, which everybody knows November is the month of chasing does. So maybe we'll just have the luck of one chasing a doe by two. But we're going to go ahead and slide in and get everything ready to go, and we're going to go ahead and go scout this. Alright guys, so we opted to come in here and hunt. We're close to where we shot that bobcat. We're just up the hill from it. We got a little bit better wind, and wanted to push just a little bit further in this time. But we kind of opted to hunt instead of paddling all the way back out and trying to hit this other spot that we were scouting, or that we were going to scout, just in case the sign wasn't as good as we'd hoped. So we opted to come in here and go ahead and just hunt this afternoon, just in hopes that something would happen. But we're going to sit tight and just kind of see what happens, and with a little bit of luck and the grace of God and me not messing it up, hopefully we can get it done for you guys this afternoon. We're set up pretty good. The top of this hill's got a pretty thick edge that I expect them to travel. They got some trails further down the hill, but they'd have to be walking pretty open for those, which I feel like if I see one down there, I could maybe even call to it or something if it's a buck. But I have a feeling with the wind and just how the deer like to travel, they'll stay against this thick stuff. But we're going to sit tight, just kind of see what happens, and hopefully it happens tonight. We're kind of warming back up after that front, but it still hasn't gotten super, I mean, it's not hot. It's pretty warm, but it's not hot. But we're supposed to be cooling down in the nights still. So we got cool nights, a few warmish days. We're supposed to have some more rain come through at some point and cool stuff off again. And hopefully it gets good again. But we're going to sit tight and see what happens. Out in here is where we mostly feel they'll come from, but they might walk some trails down there too, down around the bottom. But most part we expect them to come through here and on down, probably drop right through here is the hope. Alright guys, not a whole lot's happened so far. We're getting into the last hour, 45 minutes. Not real sure, but I know that I'm going to be doing quite a bit of scouting here pretty soon, because this just not seeing deer a whole lot. It's starting to get pretty old. I was pretty consistently on them and then kind of backed away from most of those spots just so I didn't burn them out. I've been hitting some newer stuff along with some of that stuff too here and there. But it just ain't been working out this year, and then on the times that it does work out, I've just done something and messed it up for the most part, just not being smart about it. But we're gonna sit tight and hope something comes through, and we'll get back to y'all if it does. Alright guys, we're at like the last 20-ish minutes. We're gonna sit here, kind of get ready to gather things up. But we're gonna sit here, sit tight for 5-10 more minutes. And if we see anything in that last little bit, we'll try to show y'all if there's enough camera light left. But it's about getting to the point that here in the next 10-15 minutes, we're not gonna have very much for camera light. So we're gonna get ready and gather stuff up. That way all we gotta do is really just throw it on whenever we want to get out of here, which is just pretty much sliding my Gatorade back in the bag and grabbing my arrows and all that, so not much to gather up, but we'll be getting out of here soon, so hopefully something decides to make a mistake in the last few minutes. Alright guys, so I know I told y'all I was going to show y'all everything after the after kind of the outro and if anything came through. Well, I kind of sat there for a minute and contemplated, and I decided to get up and leave right after that interview. Something was just telling me to go ahead and get up. And so I decided to pack all my stuff up right after that interview and just go ahead and slowly slip my way out. So I slowly slipped my way out, got back to the kayak. And so I usually slip out about 20 minutes. There's usually about 20 minutes of shooting light left when I run out of camera light, and that's kind of about the time that I slip out. Well, I slipped out about 5 minutes earlier, so I had about 25 minutes of shooting light left when I slipped out. So I decided to slip out, like I said, got in the kayak, started down the creek a little ways, and I had noticed something just up ahead of me. And I was like, man, that really looked like a deer. So I kept paddling. And at this point, there's 15 minutes of shooting light left. And I just keep paddling, and I'm getting a little bit closer and a little bit closer. And I notice it is a deer. And so I paddle a few more times, get probably within about 60 yards, 70 yards. And I notice she's just looking at me, but she's not doing much. So I'm just continuing to, as slowly as I can, I'm just paddling forward. And I paddle all the way up to about 40 yards, give or take. And I just do one little and set it down. And I said, if I drift close enough, I went ahead and set it down, grabbed my bow, started to put an arrow in. All this time, she's watching me out in the middle, just kind of coming up this creek. And she's just a watching and a watching. And so I set it down, and I get my arrow on, and I'm telling myself, if I drift about 10 more yards, I'll go ahead and probably shoot her. We got like 2 days of does to be able to shoot left. I'm already headed out of the spot, and so I'm headed out basically, and I see her still have the little bit of time left that I have, and decided to make a play. And turns out that I drifted that extra 10 yards. She stared at me, gave me time to draw back, and pretty much what happened was I was able to shoot me a deer. Couldn't really get it on camera for you guys because everything was packed away in the bags for the kayak, but got another doe with the doe days left. And so we put a little bit more meat in the freezer. I wish I could have got it on video for you guys and shown y'all. everything that happened, and I don't want to show too much of her because I ended up shooting her, and then I ended up realizing she bedded down, so I shot her a little back, got the liver in the back of the lungs, and so she ran about 20 yards and just laid down, and so I could see her, just barely I could see her, and so I walked forward and I walk up, and about the only thing I can see where I was able to walk up was her head sticking out. So I shot her right in the neck. So we're not showing too much of her because she's pretty shot up. But we're gonna go ahead and get her cleaned up. And I just figured I should tell y'all the rest of the story on what happened after I did the outro of the video. So we're gonna get her cleaned up, and we'll be back in the woods as soon as we can for you guys. Hope y'all enjoyed. Remember, like and subscribe, and be a lifer.